All right, I just came back from my, it would be 9, but I believe it was 8 for some reason, but I forgot why. I went 8 hours today. However, I had a decent day today. I'm not gonna lie. So most of the day I bageled, most of the day, up until 7 p.m., which I will get to later. But basically, I was like I was in some BS. I don't know, I switched mindsets, like, so it's kind of hard to really recall back to it. But I essentially was like BSing myself the entire time. I was like frolicking in my shame or whatever, and I was like, oh no, I'm never gonna like make it or whatever. Like, I don't want to be doing this, or we can't wait for it to be over. I've just been essentially going through doors. All right, so let me get into the story. So first, I went early in the morning, 10 a.m. or so, to this one neighborhood, knocked a little bit for, I'd say, about an hour, and this one homeowner, she said something to me. I don't want to say what it was. She wasn't like insulting or anything, don't worry. I just want to like keep it a secret because you don't know who's watching. But basically, she brought up a like valid concern about something, and I was like, yeah, you know. So I went to a different neighborhood because of that. So basically, I went to a different neighborhood. That was what took about an hour because I didn't know where to go, and I landed in a pretty bad neighborhood, and then in a different neighborhood was bad because I chose it on a very short notice. It was pretty terrible, I'm not gonna lie. I went knocking. The first area was not that bad. I got some responses, a lot of no responses, but I wasn't in a good headspace at all, so I basically bageled that entire street. Then I went to probably the worst street of all time in the entire state that I'm in. There's one really, really long street with an incline, and all the houses are really spaced out from each other, but the thing is, it was early in the day, the response rate was basically 0, and I essentially spaced out, downward spiraled, and by the time I was at the end of the street, I almost I almost died, basically. Well, not really, but like, you get what I mean. And the people started getting really rude as well, because it was a poor neighborhood, and it was a poor neighborhood full of basically, so yeah. So feeling defeated, I went home for my lunch break and drowned my sorrows in ground beef. Then I went out again, continued a downward spiral from the guilt and shame that I have experienced from the incident that has happened earlier today. But then something very interesting happened. Once I got to my lowest point, I called my friend, and for whatever reason during that whole call, I sorted out all the BS in my head that I've been trying to sort out for the whole day, or I would say for the whole week. And I eventually just kind of stopped caring. I just took the pressure off of it. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. And I ended up finding a laydown client in a nice neighborhood. And that gave me momentum. And then at 7 p.m., this all happened at 7 p.m. after a whole day of bageling, I made another sale, which I actually was able to use a little bit of my brain for. He was also a laydown client because he didn't really have too many. He was easier. He wasn't necessarily a laydown client, but he didn't have so many objections. He had like maybe one. So it was pretty easy. And he was like, that's a good service. He thought my service was good, and he was like, yeah, I like this, you know? And then I closed a third person, although it was more of a small $100 job. They didn't want all their windows cleaned, so I gave them a little special deal or whatever. And I actually worked with them through quite a few objections, and something, it was interesting because I actually learned. That was what made me happy. Is I actually finally was learning and making progress, and I felt like for whatever reason I wasn't able to do that, because all the clients I closed in the past, I would say majority of them were laydown clients, and I just didn't really have that much evidence that I was able to actually do like door-to-door properly. Most of my experiences was just not getting any responses and suffering. But I guess now that is not the case. Knowing what I know now, I want to bring this momentum into the next day so that I can hopefully close more clients. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about this, honestly. I had a good day today. In related news, this package came, and this is the piece for my reverse osmosis tank, which I'm going to fix. So that's also pretty cool as well. But yeah, other than that, I had a pretty good day. I will leave this with a simple lesson. Don't let BS get in your way. And honestly, I was trying to get myself to keep door knocking, but I just took a break for an hour, and that actually like solved the whole issue. So yeah, just don't let any demons and don't let any like brain demons inside of your head or whatever. Just like, you know.